So I think we're a couple minutes early. Hopefully it's not too windy. Is it windy?
No,
Carl's...
but you can hear the sea behind me. Probably clearer than we can hear it.
But your hair isn't blowing, so... No, pretty stationary. Can I hold this for you? He's holding my needle binding. Where are you in Christmas time? Where are you celebrating your Christmas? Oh, I have a thumbs up already too. Well, this is where Karl's from. You can see he looks just like the place. Where are we?
We are in Selje, at the end of the road, right past the little farm of Skorbø, the yellow house you can see behind me.
There, yeah. Move my head.
See if you look that way.
Yeah, we can do that. Turn. My car! No. You have to stand in front of the lens, or the phone though, so it hears you. No, or this way, either way, but as long as it hears you.
What you see out here is the Stad Peninsula. Stad in Old Norse means something like stop or stand. And outside of that, where you see the horizon, you have the Stadhavet. It's one of the most dangerous pieces of sea in Northern Europe. I've seen a map once, but I put a little cross for every person who has died out there. And there are some areas that are completely black of them. And they are basically, I don't know, people just come here to die.
I think it's important to ask at this point if my front microphone is working. Can you hear Karl?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I see Kaya's on and Regina's on. Can you hear Karl okay? You have to say something though.
Can you hear me?
Because last time I think we tried this, my front microphone wasn't working. So, for some reason. Now there's a car behind me.
Stand behind the camera if that helps.
Yeah, they can hear you. Okay, now you can tell more about the dead bodies out there.
Yeah.
What, maybe when the car is parked behind us. I can go over here too. It's okay. No, they can hear. All right. Tell me more about dead bodies. It's Christmas time. This sounds good.
Yeah. We can't see it from here, but a little bit further out this peninsula, there is kind of a break in this mountain chain. So you have a flat area on both sides. That place is called Dragside. In the Viking Age, this is where they would pull their ships overland. Even the Vikings went really crazy enough to deal with the Stadhavet unless they absolutely had to.
Over that?
Yeah, but further out
there,
where it's not quite as bad.
There, I haven't used this gimbal in a while, but... There we go, now it's right. Now it should work. There was an eagle up there earlier. Cheerful topic! That's right. Merry Christmas, Regina. I hope you got dressed up for this. Karl's sister's son, Kaya, says, hello from Tregda. Tregda. I can't speak. Tregda. It's not blowing too hard, which is good, but should probably get a view this way because this was nice and clear until that came in. The grey.
But it was much worse when it got here and much closer. It's much darker and much closer.
Well, when we got here, it was over there. But now it's going over Selje. So where are we? What are we needle binding to today, Karl? Because now I think we're actually. Now I think it's actually 6 o'clock or 2 o'clock. For everybody who got up early for us, yay!
Well, needle binding would be your department.
Ah, Bjørnar is here. Seems windy and grey and very Selje out there today.
Yes, it's very Selje.
I have to show something since Bjørnar is here. Okay, and I assume here, you have to hold that. I got a Christmas present from them. Ta ta ta! That's one. What are we gonna make with this, Karl? When I say we, I mean me. 2.
Well, I don't know.
There's 3 of them, and 3. Ta-ta-da. I have to put them together. We have to make something with this. I know, it's nice. Bjornar, I lost the little tag that was in the box that said where it was from. You have to write where it was from, because this is hand-spun from a certain part of a country very much like that one over there. It's Norway. It's thin, so this will be good. The thin yarn is the reason why I still haven't finished my damn stash busting though, because I'm working with yarn the same thickness and it goes a lot longer. But it's so nice. Screw the mountains, look at the yarn. I was thinking maybe we have to make matching his and hers cowls with it, but I don't know. There's a lot there though. We could do a lot. Here, we'll put this in the car though before you can put that in the car before it gets, I drop it on the ground. So I don't have the capelet width. I'll show you the view here while I dig in the bag. I don't have the capelet width, but it's finished and there's a link to the needle binding thing. You can see I couldn't get my kids to model it, but Karl's like, I'll do it, and he didn't even drink. He wasn't even drinking, and he said he would. So Ava Bolander goes and translates it and puts it up with all these wonderful picture formats and everything, and then she says he looks like Count Nidula.
Yes.
So you're Count Nidula or Nidula now.
I'm prettier than your kids anyway.
What do you think? Is he prettier than my kids? My kids are gonna disown me. No, my kids are gorgeous, but they wanted to play with their new Christmas toys because your parents give them better presents than I do, apparently.
Yeah, but we used your judgment to buy those presents, so.
Things I wouldn't buy my own kids, but if somebody else wants to spend the money on it, then okay, because I'm nervous that my kids will break it, but no, they've actually been really good, so. I did get a little more done. We'll throw that. So this is the yarn that jumped in my basket and probably broke the stash busting. It's the top of a hat. There you can see a little bit. And finished 2 + 2. Of course, this is still, so it probably looks reversed. Hey, Albert! Could look at it that way. But it's about as thick as the yarn that Kaya and Bjornar sent. So it takes a while, but it's such a pretty dense fabric. So it's worth it. This is early, we have to. Do you know why? Because the sun is no longer up. I'm gonna give you this one too, Karl, to put in the car. But there's a needle dangling off the end of it. This is a common problem with needle binding. No, so we have to, otherwise you won't be able to see it. The green yarn is made from the wool of Trondheim and comes from Homestead, Småbuk in Drangedal. That was it. Oops, I lost my chat. There it is. Drangedal, glad you liked it. That's where it is. So the yarn was from, there. The grey yarn is made from wool of Trondheim and comes from a Homestead, Småbruk in Drangedal. Yeah, no, we're going to find something fun. What should I have to, whoops, that way. I have to put something in the car, which we should, not in you, but on you. That was bad. What are we gonna put on? What are we gonna? This is from last year's stash busting. I have to show that too. That's the Oberg stitch. More cars. More people got the bright idea to come out into the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Well, we can't make you another hat with it. We gotta think of something. I think you need a cowl though, because you have a neck under there, but it's kind of, you don't cover it when you're guiding.
No, but I have this wonderful beard.
It's a little, if you keep losing your cigarette ashes on it though, it's kind of getting thinner. So should we turn around here? Oh, it's starting to rain. The rain did come.
Yeah.
But we're okay.
No, we have a plan B, and that is driving around and talking about things we see.
Yeah, we can do that too. Well, I think we're here next Sunday too though. Or should we, well, Saturday we can send, but we'd have to do earlier. Sunday we'd be driving.
Yeah.
Come over here. So there was an eagle we saw. Of course, it went away for you. The sky's coming out though. And there's more of a system over there too. That's not land.
Yeah. This is very calm seas for this time of year here.
Yeah, it was windy last time we were out here.
You see the little stone pier.
There? Yeah.
there, I've seen waves completely swallow that thing.
Oh, wow. And then I can't zoom, but right about there, right above my fingertip, there's a little black dot. You want to tell them what that is? Hey, Karin. Karin.
I believe you're on the wrong black dot. It's, let me see. It's so difficult to aim through the camera. And everything is white, so I'm having trouble recognizing where we are.
No, I'm pretty sure it's right there. There's a black square. That's the tower.
Yes, you're right.
Say that again.
Yes, you're right.
Say that again.
Stop it, woman.
To see how the weather changes there, to see how the weather changes constantly is, oops, I keep losing the chat, is very fascinating. One of the things I associate with Selje, sunny 1 minute, blistering snowstorm the next. That's right, welcome to Norway.
Yep.
Kate Knudsen is here. Hello, god jul til deg også. So it's a little bit more scenery than needle binding, but I did show some a little bit. Now it's in the car staying dry. Arlene is here too. Yes, beautiful. So now this is worth getting up in the morning to see. So we had to send a little bit earlier, so because in the United States, at least where my mom is at, it's like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 7 a.m. So if you're in California, it's much earlier.
Very hard to see unless you have a very big monitor.
Yeah.
But that little black square thingy.
Oh, over here, sorry.
Yep.
That, it's there. Yeah?
The building of that started right after the Viking Age. There was structure there in the end of the Viking Age too, but that was probably a wooden one and probably a little bit further up.
What is it? The big black dot?
The black dot is what remains of the Selje monastery, so basically the tower.
What do they do there in the Selje monastery? There's some history there.
Well, mostly brewing beer, being poor and worshipping God.
And what did they, how did it get there? There's a story you're not telling. You told it last year, but it's been a whole year. You can tell it again. Don't make people dig.
All right, let's do the legendary version then.
All right.
Back
Beautiful car.
around 980,
Here.
Vikings are plundering Ireland, and they are doing a great job at it. So, an Irish princess who has inherited one of these small kingdoms in Ireland, a woman called Sunniva, is given an ultimatum. Either you marry from one of these Vikings. Either you marry me, or I will plunder your land basically forever. And so basically she has two options. She can either save her people and marry a Viking who is not a Christian. She can not marry the Viking and see her country being burned. Or she can do what she did, which I would say is dubious option. She can choose option 3, which is to take her and everybody in her retinue and family and put them in boats without sails and without oars and let God decide where they end up. And God decided to put her on the island you see over there. Right over the monastery there is a natural cave. And they lived in this cave for a while. But if God was trying to help these people, he didn't make the best plan possible. Because back then, Norway was under the rule of Håkon Sigurdsson Jarl. Håkon Jarl was originally a vassal of the Danish king. But Håkon Jarl is also very, very pagan. So when the Danish king becomes a Christian, either because the Otto II of the Holy Roman Empire forces him to, or because he saw this magical monk who could carry white-hot steel in his hands without getting burned, Håkon is no longer his friend. And he basically breaks with Denmark and starts plundering Denmark, and Denmark starts plundering Norway, and you kind of have this little religious war between Norway and Denmark. So for a bunch of Christians to all of a sudden show up on an island around here is, well, not good. So according to the legend, the pagan farmers on the mainland, so basically my ancestors, are starting to miss sheep and goats.
They looked like that.
The goats?
No, the pagans. Okay. Yeah, the goats too.
And again, according to the saga, the legend, these were not stolen by the Christians, because the Christians were good Christians who didn't steal. But the local farmers thought I did. So they complained to the king, or to the Jarl, Håkon Jarl. And he comes with his entire fleet to deal with these Christians on the island. This is where I have a little bit of a problem with my suspension of disbelief. Because this would be like knocking on the gates of the castle to talk to the king about shoplifting. If you can't protect your own sheep from pacifists, then you should probably not be bothering the king with it. But he shows up with his fleet, ready to deal with these Christians in a very final way. And they see him coming, and they pray to God not to fall into the hands of the pagans. And God, deciding to take them very literally, kills them with an avalanche. Then, a few years later, the Christian king Olav Tryggvason is now king of Norway. Some traders stop by the island and see lights in the dark, and they also find pieces of bone that glow in the dark and smell nice. So they bring these with them to Trondheim, where the king is, and talks to him and his bishop. I believe the name of the bishop was Øystein, but I'm not entirely sure about that. They decide to investigate. They find more glowing knuckles, and they also find the body of Saint Sunniva that is untouched. She looks like she is sleeping.
And that was in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they have a reliquary made for her, basically a full-size chest made out of silver. And they build possibly the first church in Norway in 997. That's a wooden church that would be up by the cave. But since Norway has three saints, Saint Sunniva, Saint Olav and Saint Halvard, this became a very important place in the early Christian period. So they needed more structures. So they built a church to Saint Albanus up by the cave, and they built two other churches in that area as well, in addition to one extra church on the other side of the island for the locals. So that island probably has the highest church to population ratio of anywhere outside of the Vatican. So it was a Benedictine monastery from 1100 and something, and it was also it was a bishopric for a while. So for a while, the western part of Norway, everything religious was dealt with from that island, and everything secular was dealt with from Eivindvik in Gulen. But this became too unpractical as the medieval age progresses, so they decided to move both the court in Gulating and the bishopric to Bergen, or Bjørgvin as it was called back then.
Where is Selje, by the way?
Selje is on the northwestern part of the coast of Norway.
It's the west. It's farthest west you can go in Norway.
And on the mainland, yes, at the end of this peninsula, you have a plateau that is the farthest west you can get on the Norwegian mainland.
So for us, we had an interesting start. Did you want to tell more in your story before I interrupt with stupid human things?
Not really, not unless you want me to move all the way up to present day.
We had rather an adventurous trip out here. For one, I thought it was going to take 6 hours to get here, to drive here, because we weren't going through Gudvang and we were going straight from Väsby, which is about an hour from Sweden, 50 minutes. And so no, we'll leave at 7 o'clock. That'll be fine. But then what happened?
Then first one cat. First,
We had to bring the cats with, by the way.
I make a mistake and let the cat in when he's supposed to be on the veranda.
So we can catch him
So
easily.
the cat immediately understands that, okay, car ride coming up, and not dealing with that, so he decides to hide under the coach.
Yeah.
So after a lot of dicking around with a broom handle, we managed to catch that cat.
Yeah.
And then Karen messes up the other cat. She thinks she has let him in from the veranda. She hasn't. He has just gone into hiding on the veranda. So we look for a non-existent cat for about an hour before we find out that he is on the veranda just looking at us and giggling to himself. So getting both cats into the car took maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we're both sneezing all weekend now because we're rolling around under the couch dust. Hey, here it is. That's a very Norwegian name.
And then we
kid's
have a
grandmother is called
completely uneventful drive until we are at Stryn. Then it starts to snow. And I don't mean just a little bit of snow.
Oh yeah, we were only about an hour away, yeah.
Yeah.
Stryn is S-T-R-Y-N. Yeah.
Before that snow, it was about an inch here. So all of this came at about that time. So
I do not have spikes on my tires. All that snow.
I don't have the best eyesight at the best of times, but looking through the front window of the car is like when the Millennium Falcon goes into warp drive.
It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
You can't see more than 5 meters in front of you.
No, it was absolutely horrible.
And how many plows are there? At what time does Norway start Christmas? It officially starts
At 5 o'clock.
at 5 o'clock. All the bells ring. And so how many plows were out on the road here?
Well, we have kind of the church bells, white 3 minutes, snow. We saw a plow at one point.
We saw, I think, 2 of them.
Yes.
But they were going in 2 different directions and not the way we wanted to. So, we start I ask you, I've told you the one concern I have was getting up that little twisty hairpin turn.
Trustpollen, the mountain between Selje and Selje.
How'd that go, Karl?
Well,
No, we can do it.
The GPS says we are 10 minutes away. No.
I couldn't get up the last swing. I couldn't get up it. Oh, Peru just saw a snowplow tram. We have trains like that trains and boats like that in my hometown of Duluth with snowplows on them. But no, how did that last swing go? We didn't. I think I can. Not gonna happen. So
it's so twisty and so steep that because of the twists you lose all of your momentum, and then you are basically dead still in.
Like this.
Yeah. So it's we tried, and when the Minnesotan can't do it, I guess it can't be done. So we gave up and drove by almost all the way out to Molay, then around the coast back here, and then we have the last little challenge was the driveway up to the house, and that we pulled off on pure willpower.
Oh, I was pissed. I was like, made it. And there's like 2 stone walls on each side, so it's just a narrow turn. I'm like, fuck it, I'd rather scrape the car than not get there. I want food, and we had food. It was really good. What did we have?
Well,
it wasn't jerky. It was not dried out, so they made it.
No, it's steamed. It's what the rest of Norway calls pinnekjøtt, that we call ribbe around here.
Oh, 4x4 Jeep. I need that, Arlene. She says that's why I have a 4x4 Jeep.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's just show you here. There are no spikes on those tires, and this is not a 4x4. So yeah, we put it to use. You can have behind us there. Actually, the sun was. Oh, look at that! It's like God is coming out behind us here for those who are religious. If we move out of the way completely, it makes rays. No, that's like growing up Catholic. Every single postcard or picture or something with some sort of a hymn on it has a background with a sky like that. How did you guys? Did you make it to your Christmas on time? We did. 5 o'clock Christmas dinner at 7, and there's Carl's mom. No, 8 actually, and Carl's mom's. We've never opened presents so late before. Nope. That's what happens when you invite American to dinner.
And then we also have 2 grumpy and thirsty cats that we have to deal with before we deal with anything
Oh, yeah?
else. So
They were in the car for 9 hours. It was it turned up being a 9-hour drive, but because the last hour we took, well, we had to do the last hour twice, and then do it at 40 kilometers per hour. So we had a chat. Whoops, here, I'll read the chat. Where did it go? There it is. Snow tires are quite useful, says Janine. Yes, they are. I might get some chains for the tires on the way home, though, because I can't do spikes. The part of Norway I live in, you get heavily fined. Well, I can. I just have to pay like a big fee or something for such a little bit of time. Yeah, it's beautiful here, Peruta. So, Peruta, when you came a little late, too bad. Karl retold the story of the monastery that is over there. We'll get there. But you can see there's some weather coming. But we'll be done before that comes. Let's see. And Albert had to go. I saw that, but he'll rewatch when he gets home. He was going to go and play with his father-in-law. You have to be nice to the in-laws. Isn't that right, Karl?
yeah.
If you're nice, they feed you.
Or at least I tell you how to cook a turkey.
Oh, that's another story. Oh, God. This one. So, okay, so your sister's been doing all the cooking because the other sister didn't come out. No guilt there whatsoever.
So,
And then your parents aren't really kind of up to it. They need a break. They've made enough food in their life. So
yeah. So
what happened here, Karl? What did you do?
I made boo-boo. I thought I could volunteer to make the turkey because I have this time American.
Remember, this is the guy who puts bananas on pizza.
Yes. So we kind of volunteered to do that. Well, I volunteered us because the way we make a turkey in Norway is that you put it in the oven. Mm-hmm. You let the oven do the work and you take it out. It's not a religious ritual to us like it is to the Americans. But then I talked to her and she goes, oh, I can't make a turkey, it's way too complicated.
No, what were your words? Oh, we can make a turkey. I have a tame American. What's the smoke alarm for, Karl? What's the smoke alarm for?
To tell when the pizza is
To
done?
tell when the pizza is done. And you think I can make a turkey? I mean, it would be like ash coming out of that carcass when I'm done with it.
Yes, no, but... so we talked to her mother and...
It's the easiest thing she makes, is the first thing she said.
Yes.
First words out of her mouth. Oh, that's the easiest thing you can make.
Yes, and then we start with making a tent out of aluminium foil and mayonnaise and blood and... I made notes! And my notes are...
What do your notes say? What do your notes say? First you have to slather the boobs with mayonnaise. And then to find out if it's done, you have to spread the legs.
That's what she said.
Sabruda. So the best... We're not sure. Well, yeah, we're trying to... Okay, so one thing I know about turkey... Well, actually, there's a couple things I know about turkey. One, it's never thawed when you think it's thawed. So then it takes longer to cook. Two, it always takes an hour or two longer than you think. Oh, just a little longer. Just a little longer. Just a little more. And the third thing is it is really easy to dry it out. So it's like eating turkey jerky. Are we having system? Oh, there's a boat out there. We'll turn. So there, you can see it right there. That's a big boat, though. That's a salty, as we call them in Duluth. Because I'm from the tip of Lake Superior, which is huge, we have what we call salties and lakers. Salties are the ones that are the big vessels that go over the ocean and can handle ocean waves. They're shorter, but they're taller. And then you have the lakers, which are longer and flatter and stick just within the Great Lake area. But that is a salty.
considering where he is, I'm guessing he is pretty good.
Janine says, best invention ever, oven-proof bags. Have they made oven-proof bags in Norway yet, sweet?
Oh, do I look like I have the latest scoop on the Norwegian cooking inventions?
Well, no, I have a tame American. This will be fine. Smooth soles means blue bums. Okay, we'll have to remember that. Oh, no, there we are. Okay, I thought you were talking about the turkey having a smooth sole or a blue bum. No, Pruda said she had to get new boots for me and Hector. We had both worn through the soles, and the snow is ankle deep here. Now you bring up another interesting story. Karl, you're looking a little guilty over there.
Why?
What is the one thing we had to do while we were in Vestby? For 10 days we're in Vestby, the beginning of our vacation. What is the one thing we had to do?
Buy the Rundquest box.
No. Buy new shoes. So I got new shoes. Where are your new shoes, Karl? They're smiling.
Yeah, no, we'll have to deal with that at some point. There was just one set of decent shoes, and I had way too big heels. So I would be even taller and ganglier than I already am. So I decided to wait until I see something better.
I was so looking forward to taking Karl shoe shopping. Not because I like shoe shopping, but because I know it would torture him. And there he is for 5-10 minutes standing there looking at the same pair of shoes. Then 5-10 minutes more. You don't come home. Oh no, but we can get him in Oslo, he says. Oh, look, RuneQuest. No. Karl needs shoes too, Peruda. I feel your pain. In Africa, she says, we'd say his shoes are talking. They are. We say in Duluth, we say they're smiling. They're eating snow, big time. See if I missed anything else here. Patricia says, come here, I have enough food for 16 people. Turkeys are easy. You're one of those people that says it's easy. Okay, so there's more to this story. So then so I'm looking at this thing going, okay, it's too early to call my mom now. So, okay, what do? We start flipping through and they're, super easy recipe. So that'll be fine. The first thing you do is don't rinse the turkey, don't wash it, don't baste it, don't do this. You only need like 13 minutes per pound. And we're like, how many pounds is it? I don't know, is it kilo or pounds, Karl? Anyway, then we call my mom. She's like, no, it's super easy. You want it for 30 minutes per pound. You need to wash it first. Make sure you baste it and brine it. She's in complete contradiction to the other super easy recipe.
This is what I'm saying. If it is this much wiggle room on how to make a turkey, there is no way to fuck it up. Either you wash it or you don't. You put it in the oven
Well, I have
either
to wash it, the
13 or 14
bacteria,
minutes.
she says, and the other, well, she's a nurse, so a surgical nurse, so that makes sense. But then the other one's like, oh no, everything burns off at 325 degrees Fahrenheit, so it doesn't matter. But you don't want to lose that juicy bacteria flavor either. So
But we're not giving it back surgery. We are.
It's going to be the best turkey ever. Bring lots of sauce. Oh, then there's the whole gravy thing. Do you know the British have a thing, at least in every British movie I've seen about holiday food, they can't have lumpy gravy. So there's some pressure there. The only gravy I know how to make comes in powder form, and you just add milk and water.
But we're not feeding any Brits.
No. There we go. Arlene says she was a nurse for 28 years. So now, would you rinse the turkey or would you just let the temperature burn off any bacteria? So the other thing is the nice easy recipe online says you want to thaw the turkey in a pan to collect all the juices and don't lose those. Karl goes to check the weight of the turkey, lifts up the box. What happened, Karl? You completely had... It was like a scene out of Blade. Just blood all down the front of you. Well, there goes those juices. This is going to be awesome. We need tips here. Arlene says, Karen, you still wear boots open like an American. Oh, that's because I've got so much water weight in my feet I can't bend over and do the laces. No, really, it's because I'm being American. I do. There you are. But they have oops, I'm showing you my, there.
What are you doing?
My boobs, see? Zipper. No, I haven't had the shoes very long. Well, Peruta sent a photo of Christmas lunch. I'll have to check that out after. We could, let's see, we haven't shown this way yet. Behind us. There we are. Up. You can look up our noses.
Yeah.
because
was an eagle up
we are
there
turkey
earlier,
experts. There was an eagle up there, but he went and hid as soon as he saw the camera come. Let's see. We can look this way more. It's pretty. Yeah, my mom's a surgical nurse specializing in eye surgery. So we had a lot of interesting conversations at the dinner table. Things like motorcycle accidents and glass getting stuck behind people's eyes. Janine, here we go. Wash it, pat dry, place butter all over with lots of herbs. So that's going to be you massaging the turkey
And
breasts.
that's probably instead
the
of the
boobs.
mayonnaise, or is it in addition to the mayonnaise?
My mom says you got to use mayonnaise, not mayonnaise. The boat is over there now. Okay. But the other one said herb and butters too. Maybe we just do both. Can you mix mayonnaise and butter together? Would that be good? Stick it in a bag and into the oven. Okay. So like a foil type bag, I'm guessing. That might be where the tent comes in. But the foil can't touch the skin apparently. And then you have to check it 20 minutes before it's done, but yet you don't know how long it takes to do it. So how do you know when it's 20 minutes before it's done? How many of you had to make turkey this weekend? Janine said she cooked a 16-pound bird in 2 hours. Wow! How many pounds did we figure out this thing is? Is it 5 pounds or 5 kilo? There's a difference there.
I don't know how much it weighs.
Okay, we'll figure this out. See if you can get drenched in blood one more time. Patricia says rinse it quickly with running water. Okay, so that sounds like that'll make both parties happy.
The more information you collect, the more complicated this job becomes.
Oh, well, you're the one. I have a tame American. It'll be no problem. Meanwhile, I burn pizza. You know how you're like supposed to test spaghetti by throwing it against the refrigerator and see if it sticks, and then you know the pasta's done, right? Mine's like throwing a wet spitball at it.
I have never seen anybody do that, but that.
Oh, you have to try that trick. Janine says, I don't use mayo, not a fan. Plastic bag. Okay, it won't like melt all over there, and we'll have like some interesting. Could you use? Or is there like a plastic oven, special oven bag? Arlene says, no mayo, I was butter. What did Regina write? Regina has COVID. Christmas lunch was a salad sandwich, no appetite. But you don't have to burn all off that Christmas weight that I have to burn off now. I've been eating 2 different kinds of ribba. Let's see. Bjornara says, as Christmas is all about traditions, you should do it exclusively, as your mother says. Bjornara, at least you don't have to eat it. Poor Hannah over there, on the other hand, has to. Arlene says, and brown paper, and a brown bag, no foil or plastic. Okay, so those two are going to fight soon. No. Janine says, I could really blow your mind. We used to use the paper grocery bags to cook the turkeys in. You know, I think my mom did that once. The typical American brown bag that doesn't have handles on it. Regina says, I have a minor dose, and I've had worse colds. Actually, we should live stream the turkey process, and that's one food program that Bjornar would like to watch. You say that because you're not here, Bjornar. If you were in the kitchen at the time, you know how it would be. Carl's mother is really good at having arguments with objects that don't move, or non-animated objects. Can you imagine how she would be? No, she's hilarious. I love her. Arlene says she makes her turkeys like the 1800s Canadian pioneer. Okay, no, Rude also says we have to live stream this sucker. Well, next week we'll be able to tell you how it went anyway. If we live stream us making the turkey, it might actually make you all witnesses to Carl's murder, and we can't have that. But if you see out here, there's lots of places to bury his body. I mean, he's kind of skinny. If he goes in that sea there. Oh, but Regina, the COVID numbers went massively up. Too many people licking each other. We had to go into Oslo for the first time in 2 years. That was scary.
Yeah, but we didn't lick.
No, we didn't lick anybody. And you don't drive in because it's ridiculous trying to park there. So it's easier to just take a train, and it takes you right where you want to go anyway.
Yeah.
So taking a train for the first time, also in COVID, that was. But there was hardly anybody on it, and it went fine.
No, it was painless.
Everybody was wearing. Face masks and everything, but the numbers had went up, so we have a little scare ourselves actually. What was it? the kids had the last 3 days of school that the kids had were at home, but not because they were closing the school for COVID. It's because all the teachers got sick. And then we get a notice that says you need to be tested. Your kid's teacher has corona, so and because they're close contact, you all have to get tested on they're in quarantine. You are in almost quarantine, and you have to be tested on the 23rd. We're supposed to be headed to my former father-in-law's on the 23rd and then Selje the next day, and we're supposed to be there at like noon on the first one. So there we are, shoving sticks down our noses, up and back behind our noses. I was going to take a picture of all the tests for as a Merry Christmas photo, but we were all negative, fortunately. And then the holiday season could begin.
The one thing I'm really looking forward to at the end of this pandemic is that after this pandemic is over, if anybody wants to shove anything up your nose, you can shoot them in self-defense.
And bury the body. Let's see. I saw Pruda had a comment about the body here. Yeah, the problem with the dead Karl is the Draugr. Shit, that's right. He keeps coming back. With smiley shoes. Maybe you'll be as dry as the turkey.
We can solve that problem with mayonnaise.
With the mayonnaise! We could use the mayonnaise! The mayonnaise. Oh, we have a guy that we work with. His name is Holger. He is he made all the gods that we show sometimes. Anyway, he talks about his adventures as being a Viking guide all over Food Viking in Germany and here and everything. And apparently there's another lady that he worked with for a while, German lady who, according to him, walks around with a big bucket of mayonnaise and nothing else and just keeps following him around. So he calls her, but in his German dialect, the mayonnaise troll. So it will never be mayonnaise again to me. It will always be mayonnaise. So butter's the way to go, Karl. You're going to make my mother cry. Oh, it's easy. Just do... Karl's taking notes feverishly. It says, slather mayo on boobs, spread legs, see if it bleeds. It's just... This is going to be... Did the Vikings eat turkey?
Maybe Leif Erikson.
Maybe we can get away with this if the Vikings didn't. Leif Erikson made it to USA.
Yes, so maybe.
Maybe. No, so any tips great. We're going to have to look into the bag thing. Did Vikings have bags? I just like watching him cry. So, how else did our weekend go? Tell about the mouse and the bat story. Your mother is so fun.
No, there was... my father has a cat, a very nimble and creative Siamese cat that captured some unknown animal that according to him might have been a bird. According to my mother, it was definitely a mouse. But they are arguing about the species of the thing instead of trying to catch it. So the thing is somewhere.
And Hannah's trying to cook.
Yeah.
In the tiny little kitchen.
They have been arguing about this thing for half an hour when I show up and try to find it and then give up.
Hannah comes running down the stairs.
Maria.
Is it Maria that came running down the stairs? Karl, you have to find a mouse now.
So I thought I could maybe, if they couldn't decide if it was a mouse or a bird, they could maybe compromise and say it was a bat. Apparently it was a mouse. Maria and her friends found it sometime hiding in a chair, sometime late in the night. But yeah.
Score one for the teenagers.
Yes. And the cat is really enjoying herself.
Yeah?
So bullying mice and messing with your cats is...
There's a very important notification here and warning about the turkey. Janine says, just please, 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 please use the bags that are made for the oven. Otherwise, you'll learn about the smoke alarm again. See, she knows.
Yep.
So the smoke alarm doesn't mean it's done. But what about that nice little, I don't know, plastic coating? We wouldn't have to worry about the crust of the turkey because it would be plastic coated.
Yes, this sounds cunning.
I think we can do this. We can pull this off. Let's see. So now, what did you guys, who had to cook and who pulled it off and who, on the other hand, played with the smoke alarm like me? I want to know that I'm not the only one.
Woman, this is not super complicated.
I need to be surrounded by my peers here, and it's not just needlepoint. How about
You
this?
have an object and an oven. The object goes in the oven. The oven tells you when it's done.
No, it
Then you
doesn't.
use the thermometer to check that the thing is actually done. If it is, you eat it. If it isn't, you put it back. It's easy.
Do you think it's gonna be that easy?
No, because now we have to build a tent and add mayonnaise to everything.
If I ever hear the words, it's okay, I have a tame American, she can make a fucking turkey. No, let's start easy. Let's, macaroni and cheese, maybe that could be a little challenging. I mean, if I can follow the package, but the homemade kind, that would be, no, turkey.
Between the two of us, who is the better cook?
There is no cook in between. That's a trick question. Oh, I gotta show you this. I like this. There's a little worn out. How old is that, by the way? That worn out ruin there. Ruins of an old stone building.
I would guess 150 years, probably, maybe older.
Yeah.
Because they kind of stay forever as soon as they're built. So it might be very, very old.
That's something I see a lot of on the drives over, though, over the mountains, is to see a lot of the foundations of a farm. Oh, there's a little car on the road.
My father told me that even when he was a kid, they had this itinerant traveling stone experts. Because people don't do this often enough that they actually develop a skill in it. So the skilled people are the people traveling around and going, hey, you want some stone structures somewhere? And they can be very, very good.
Pruda says she has successfully cooked a flawless British roast dinner with Yorkshire pudding and non-lumpy gravy.
Maybe we can adopt her.
Pruda, what are you doing? How fast can you get here, Pruda? The weather's looking a little ominous, but there's a monastery over there we could interest you in if you don't make it. Let's see. I saw that eagle. It's like a dot around there now, but he keeps popping up around here. But he was right over there. But he's hiding now. And then, they're congratulating each other. Janine's very pleased with Pruda. I will find a bag. They must make those oven bags here. Janine says, I made an English Christmas pudding that we'll try today. Arlene says she's never made packaged gravy. You know, I didn't know packaged gravy existed until I came to Norway. And suddenly I can make lots of gravy. We're supposed to save the pan drippings for that. One thing I'm actually pretty good at is making things with stew out of turkey leftovers. That I can do. Turkey soup and hot dishes. Because I'm in Minnesota. Everyone else in the United States has a casserole, but in Minnesota we have hot dish. So you can do a turkey hot dish. With or without mayonnaise. No, you don't use mayonnaise. The other thing is, okay, now we have to stuff this thing. So one site said you're not going to eat the stuff that's in it. You're just using it so it doesn't dry out or so it gets flavor. So we had to use a quarter a lemon, quarter an apple, onion. What else are we going to shove up its hoo-ha to make it not get cracky and dry?
Apparently pepper is very important here.
Pepper, oh yes. Oh, there's a pepper story, Karl. Would you like to tell that? I think they're just trying. Oops, I turned it. We need to see this. We can see that. Turkey soup. Yes. Now I'm good at making turkey soup. The other thing is I didn't want to tell your parents who were worried about the lack of pepper. We can't make turkey because we can't find pepper. Apparently your sister used it all, but your father knows of a secret stash under a ventilation system, so I'm a little concerned. Anyway, celery. We use celery in Minnesota, either along the side or... Okay, we have some suggestions of what to stuff up its hoo-ha. Chestnut, says Yurtis. Von Castaño, that'd be good. We put that on pizza once.
That didn't work.
That didn't work, no. But the banana actually did. Apples, onions, shallots. Ooh, those are better. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Why do I have like Simon and Garfunkel in my head right now? sprigs tied and then placed inside. Okay, we can do this. Do you have parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme? We were only worried about pepper. I forgot we're in Norway. It's salt and pepper country here.
I came here at the same time you did.
No, so
I haven't gone through the pantries, so
we will find out. So what she says, Janine says, we've always made dressing instead of stuffing. What is the difference between dressing and stuffing? I've heard it called both, but
you stuff
stuffing
the
is
stuffing and you dress the
breadcrumb,
dressing.
bread or something breaded. I never ate the stuffing because it had celery in it, so we had to make sure we get celery. Okay. But she told me an interesting thing about ribbe. Okay, so now I've lived in Norway for 24 years, and we anytime I would have Christmas dinner, it would be ribbe in the Oslo region. And ribbe is pork, or it's pig.
Yeah,
And they're like short ribs like this, and it's like a big thing of it, and then there's like you make crackling out of the skin on the top, and you bake this big thing and then slice it. But when I show up to your house and you have ribbe, it doesn't look the same as it does in Oslo.
No, what we call ribbe is what the rest of Norway call pinnekjøtt. They call it pinnekjøtt because you're not boiling it, you're steaming it.
Basically means stick meat.
And the original way of doing it is to put sticks in your pan to basically lift the meat off the water, and then you boil the water and steam the meat. But that's sheep's ribs. So we refer to that as ribbe, and what the people in the eastern part of Norway call ribbe, we call
Svineribbe.
svineribbe or småribbe.
That we had today, or yesterday, so that was good. We have 12 people on. This is more than we had last time we had to show up this early on a Sunday.
Yep.
One is cooked inside the bird. Okay, yeah. I heard, from what I understand, in these super easy recipes, the stuffing that you eat is actually made in a casserole dish or a hot dish
but I
outside.
remember that these are different people with different recipes. We can't make the universal turkey recipe where everything is involved. That just won't work.
It's no problem. We have a tame American in the house. Do you know, like, this is the subject of many a divorce in the United States? The damn turkey. No problem. I have a tame American. This will be easy.
By your American Thanksgiving standards, this is super complicated and it has to be very good and you're compared to everybody else. This is the Norwegian turkey standard. The bar is so low, you have no idea.
Seriously, turkeys are easy, said Janine. You know what? I'll be happy if it's not jerky, so that'll be good. So I think, what are we going to have to do? Saturday? We'll have to do it 2 o'clock, the same time next week, though, because it's almost dark, as you can see.
Yeah.
But we could show, you live over there.
Yep.
And there's actually, the water continues kind of through there, so we can take a view from that angle, maybe. Or where do you want to?
We can do that.
We'll do one more day, Selje.
We can also do the church. And I kind of like the idea of driving around
Yeah.
and showing different things.
As long as you're holding the gimbal, we can drive. And we have to be able to drive slow, no cars up our asses or anything like that.
Do you see a lot of traffic around here?
Nope. There's some people walking over there.
Yep. No, but they are soft. We can drive right through
So we can
them.
do that, but don't have me going up any hairpin turns without spikes on my tires. It wasn't, the funny thing too is we checked the weather message. The weather was perfect the whole way here for 7 hours, and it wasn't until the last then this snowstorm. It's not I wouldn't call it a snowstorm because there was no wind,
There wasn't much wind.
but it was heavy snow.
It was comically heavy snow.
At a time where all Norwegians are eating dinner because all Norwegians eat Christmas dinner at 5 o'clock, except for your family who had to wait until 8.
Yeah.
And they thought they were being so smart and said, no, we'll wait till 7. Let's see, Janine says, seriously, turkeys are easy. No, I think we'll pull it off anyway. If it doesn't work, it'll be soup. Arlene says, I could totally confuse you with instructions of a traditional Scottish sausage stuffing. Stuffing is putting inside the bird. Dressing is making the bird fancy on the outside like those paper. Oh, God, this will be fun. Janine says, be sure to, yes. Oh, yeah, no, this is important. I did remember this one. Be sure to pull the giblets, etc. out of both openings before you cook it. The first time I cooked, I didn't know there were 2 openings because the giblets are stored in a bag in the neck, and I don't know what the hell they shoved up the hoo-ha, but we have to pull that out, otherwise it'll be like... it'll be like plastic everywhere. I've heard horror stories about that one. That one I actually did know. Patricia says the things on the legs make the plates pretty with the vegetables and greens. Oh yeah, those little turkey drumstick thing. I could spend 3 hours making that and you make the damn turkey. How does that sound? Those little drumsticks that it's in every single Looney Tunes cartoon when they're making turkey dinner.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
watch some cartoons and then we'll make the dinner.
So I guess we're going to drive back to Gudvangen on Sunday, which is 4 hours from here, not 8, so that'll be good. So Saturday sounds like a good time, Saturday at 2.
Yeah.
And then we'll find somewhere here. The other thing is if we're in the car, we don't have to worry about wind because we don't have external microphones with us. So then that'll be the 2nd. So it'll be after New Year's. How drunk are we going to get you on New Year's Eve?
Not very, I think, but we'll see.
But it doesn't take much to get you drunk. Anybody who saw the episode 2 weeks ago where you had to test Christmas beer, why are you giving me a shot glass, woman? Because you have 17 beers to go through. It's so good that I was too allergic to drink any of it. No.
Yeah, can't drink beer, can't
Can't
eat
drink
chili
beer.
balls, can't do anything except laugh at me.
Saturday is the 1st. Okay. You can make it the way Rowan Atkinson makes it. Oh, I remember this one. I don't know, I think it was like dancing around or something. I don't know, I love Rowan Atkinson. We just watched the movie Love Actually. Carl hadn't seen it before. And then you have Rowan Atkinson in there with the packing presents. I would totally do that.
Yes.
Arlene says, I like early. I get up between 5 and 6 a.m. my time, of course. Oh, perfectly. So now if you haven't drunk too much on the 31st, so, no hangovers or everything, everyone's notoriously going to bed early that night anyway. Then on the 1st, you and I are going to show you some really bright light and snow, maybe. Well, maybe the snow will be melted by then. So that ought to be perfect for hangover. But yeah, I'll see how much needle. Well, we'll find out if I finish the stash busting. But since you reintroduced me into the world of gaming, that might not happen anytime soon. But I'm working on it. So, but I don't think I'll ever make the mistake of going with thin yarn for stash busting, because that takes a lot longer. So when you have 100 meters of thin yarn, for example, or 100 grams of thin yarn, you have a lot of yarn. And I have to say thank you again to Bjornar and Kaya for the yarn. I can't wait. We have to figure out what to make with it. There's quite a bit there. It's about 300 grams. And it's thin enough to make at least 2 cowls. So I could make them a hat, but do you want to end with a really quick story about that hat that you've been reunited with since last Christmas?
I forgot it in the bed
The
last
last
Christmas.
thing I told you before you left.
Yeah, remember the hat and remember
My
this
poncho.
thing, her poncho. So obviously I forget the hat and I sent the poncho to the south of Norway.
No, seriously, a turkey's going to be easy. I have a tame American. You're number 1.
I do have a time American, it's just not a particularly well-trained one.
Kaya says, good luck with the turkey adventure. You can do it. You're only saying that because you don't have to eat it, Kaya. On to you. We could take some pictures. I got to get better at posting things, but I have been horrible about being online. Oh yeah, and the capelet pattern is up. I put the link somewhere in the description. And I think I only posted this video like 5 places, but there's also Maria Lindhale's, it's Masser af Nalbinding advent calendar, which basically in Danish means lots of needle mining. They want updates on the turkey saga. Do you want the one with or without the turkey fork in his back? I know how to use that thing. He'll be buried somewhere out there on the monastery with, what's her name? Saint?
Oh no, she's not there anymore.
No? Sant Sunniva?
Her reliquary was moved to Bergen when the bishopric was moved. And then sometime around the Reformation, when Norway was under Denmark, it just disappeared.
Oh.
We don't really know where it is. I'm guessing some Danish person has a saint in his cupboard.
Master of saints. So you have to see how it turned out. Pick it or it didn't happen, yeah. And you can see Karl, Count Nidula, as Eva Bolander called you. Count Nidula, because He's wearing the Nalbinding capelet that what kids were supposed to try on. It's actually, the reason we did it open is because it's not meant for a man, so it didn't quite big enough here on him, but it fits my kids perfectly. I did decide though, one regret, and I will have to actually take it and redo it. One part is, if you notice, there's a really cool white edge on one side and the other side isn't. I will add a white edge on that one side so it looks, because now that I see it in pictures, it will make my OCD very happy if I have the two white together. And you can be Count Nidula. But I gotta say, I think you're starting a new fashion trend. That thing looks pretty cool on you. You almost look Sami. Like fairy tale Sami.
Okay. So if this Viking thing doesn't pan out, we know what to do.
We're gonna get him a lot of reindeer.
Yep.
And some needle mining. Okay, I will try to at least finish the orange hat with the yarn. Okay, I'm gonna leave because it's exactly 60 minutes. Thank you for keeping us entertained. Hopefully we'll still be alive next week, and nobody will. There you go. Bruda put the link for the pattern on there anyway.
Yeah. And I will develop a better idea on how to use my time American.
I don't think your American is very tame anymore. Just gonna say, and you'll have to let us know how your New Year's Eve went. We're looking forward to a bunch of hungover people. No COVID, Regina, get better, please. But I'm glad to hear it's not a severe one anyway. God forbid you lose taste buds at this time of year. Not good. Well, maybe if you're gonna eat my turkey, then you better lose your taste buds. Arlene says, have a great Christmas vacation. Maybe it'll be like National Lampoons. It kind of already is. The fact that we could have gotten stuck on the mountain. Can you imagine how long that would have taken to get out? No, but honestly, have a good time. Thank you for all the turkey advice. We can do this. They're Norwegian. They'll never know how this is. No, this is how we do it in the United States.
I just have to quote something from the Norwegian radio theater when it comes to all the information we've gotten about turkeys. Denne siste opplysningen gjør mørket enda tettere.
This ending makes the darkness even tighter.
This last piece of information makes it even more confusing.
We got the Scottish in there too, don't forget.
I'm good at
Happy New Year, says Peruta, to everyone. It's been an awesome year with you guys. It's been great. Oh yeah, and we're hitting 100 episodes soon.
Yeah.
Peruta's, God, we have to figure a way to do this though, but Peruta's picking out all her favorite times. Things like when he got whacked with a sheep, or oh, there's a lot of fun things in there we have to bring back the best of. Or you sitting there and saying, some people have testicles on YouTube, and Virginia and I just about lost our shit. It'll be good. I'm leaving. Bye. We're babbling.
Bye.
See you. Thanks for getting up. How do I end this thing? I don't know how to end it. We can... There! I did it. Okay. Bye-bye.